Well, we're living here in Allentown, and they're closing all the factories down.
Well, Billy Joel singing about Allentown, Pennsylvania, a town that presidential candidate Mitt Romney is now using as a backdrop for a shutdown factory to slam President Obama's economic policies, particularly the stimulus. Here he is speaking at the site of a once booming metal factory.
This was the place that President Obama visited about a year and a half ago and indicated that this was a symbol of the success of his stimulus program. And as you look around and see the weeds growing and the windows boarded up, you could recognize that it's more a symbol of the failure of Obama's economic policies. The plant here has been open 100 years. It survived the Great Depression. It couldn't survive Obama economy.
Well, the former Massachusetts governor is, of course, referring to that trip President Obama made to the same factory back in 2009, where the president touted the success of his massive $787 billion stimulus package. Take a listen.
I was just talking to the governor before we walked in, and he's got a whole series of charts about how much more steel was produced in Pennsylvania because of the Recovery Act. How much more infrastructure spending is taking place out here, putting people to work, doing the work that America needs done.
Karl Rove was a senior advisor and deputy chief of staff to President George W. Bush. He's also now a Fox News contributor. Karl, great to see you. The stimulus, and let's put our own Fox News poll up on the screen, the stimulus is still not popular. In fact, 46% said it made no difference. 23% said it hurt. But look, I read your op-ed, and you are giving some advice to the GOP nominee. The GOP nominee should fiercely challenge Mr. Obama's policies and actions using the president's own words, you wrote. That's precisely what Mitt Romney is doing, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was a very smart move on his part to go to do the research, find out that this plant had been closed, and go to the exact same place where the president had gone to tout the success of the stimulus program, to point out that the underlying philosophy of it, that we can somehow as a nation spend our way to prosperity, has not worked out. And a smart move on his part, and to do it the same day the president was a few miles away in Philadelphia is equally smart. Yeah,
your op-ed is what to do and what not to do. On the latter, you say the nominee should not adopt a tone that's harshly negative and personally anti-Obama, because you argue that that will alienate the people who are prepared to swing away from President Obama. So I wonder if at the same time Mitt Romney crossed the line and violated your suggestion. Take a listen to this.
The president's time is being focused on playing golf and campaigning and blaming. He should be spending his time and his energy working on getting Americans back to work and fixing this economy. And yeah, there's a big issue coming up with regards to the debt ceiling. The president ought to be in Washington, meeting with Republicans, meeting with Democrats. He shouldn't leave that town until he has an understanding of what it's going to take to get this economy going again and to deal with the fiscal crisis that the country faces. But he's here raising money for a campaign. Doesn't even have a primary opponent.
Karl, isn't that negative and personally anti-Obama?
No, I think that's exactly the right tone. It's to take the president's actions and hold him accountable for them. Look, I think the people, I think Governor Romney's right. President Obama made a conscious decision that he was going to put his emphasis on being a campaigner now rather than being president. I went through this in 2003 with President George W. Bush. I think at this point we'd had 3 fundraisers, and President Obama has had, I believe, the number is 29. Yeah. And the president's tone is very harsh and negative about the Republicans. Right. I mean, when his press spokesman yesterday dismissed an invitation for the president to meet with Senate Republicans to talk about the debt ceiling by saying this is not a conversation worth having, it shows this White House has got a negative tone, harshly political, and prematurely political. The president ought to be the president for the next 12 or 13 months. I thought Governor Romney's appearance was apple pie spot on. I mean, it was he hit the right tone, regret, disappointment, not questioning the president's motives or his patriotism or his commitment to the country, but saying his policies have failed.
You also argue that Republicans cannot play it safe. They have to set forth their own governing agenda. Well, haven't they really done that? The agenda well laid out by many Republican leaders is reduce taxes, reduce the burdensome regs, reverse Obamacare, and create the condition to grow jobs in the economy. Isn't that their agenda?
Yeah, the broad brush strokes of the agenda are there, but each one of these candidates is going to have to find a way to talk about the specific things that they will do, plenty of time to do it, 16 months until the presidential election, and then be willing to defend them in the face of negative attacks by President Obama. For example, in January, President Obama went to the House Republican retreat and referred to Congressman Paul Ryan's suggestion about Medicare premium support as a serious suggestion, but then he got into the full campaign mode and summoned Congressman Ryan to sit in the front row of a speech where the president basically trashed the proposal and called it not a serious proposal. That's the kind of thing that Republicans are going to have to be willing to stand up and say, here's what I'm for, and Mr. President, when you come at me with respect, I will respond.
All right. Karl Rove, thanks so much for being with us, and we hope you have a great July 4th holiday weekend.
Same to you. Happy Independence Day.
Thank you.